I'm going to show you a little hack here in the new Volvo XC60 B5 on how you can avoid speeding unintentionally. It is the Intelligent Speed Assist with adaptive pedal response. The way this works is by limiting the speed using the accelerator pedal or speeding it up. And this happens, first of all, you'll hear a ding, which tells you you're in a new speed limit, and then the car will slow down or not speed up anymore. Or if you're going into a faster area, the car will then speed up. Remarkable, does it all by itself. You can of course turn it off by doing that, or just put your foot down to override it. Speed restrictions can be more dangerous sometimes than the speed itself, because people are not really focusing on driving, they're focusing on their speed. Keeping a modern car between 20 and 30 miles an hour today is almost impossible. The question is this a restriction of your choices and freedom of movement, or a brilliant way to save your license and lives? Easy to understand, the B5 is powered by a thing called an engine. It's a 2-litre, it has a 48-volt mild hybrid, which is really good for economy and helps with the acceleration. To help you remember their their naming system, B4 means diesel, B5 means petrol. And if you're wearing headphones, here's how it sounds. This is quite quiet.
Nomenclature.
I wanted to test this petrol engine largely because I enjoyed the T8 version, which is the plug-in hybrid of this, and the video for that is the first comment you see pinned, along with some amazing prices from the UK's largest lease comparison site. But the real reason actually I think is because nobody can really afford a T8, and maybe they can afford this. Not nobody. Mostly me. I want to have a look at MPG, road noise, comfort, drivetrain. Reason for that is every single car is different. When you test drive something, I don't know, it's a thing. It could be the same car, but they feel different. There might be a different smell, different wheels, different suspension. Case in point, T8 and T6, completely different animals. No idea why. Well, actually, I do know why. There's one particular component. Anyway, enter the B5.
Volvos are no longer driven by people who smoke a pipe. Today, they're driven by modernists.
Modernists.
Yes, I know how to say that, thank you.
Grumpy.
And despite the B5 engine being a little loud when it's pushed, it didn't bother me once on a 4-hour trip to Blackpool to see the illuminations and someone who really looks like Elvis.
That is amazing.
Blackpool.
Okay.
I really like the headlining, which is the light stuff, and the way that this sunroof opens is a kind of well, it should do that. Do I need to turn it on? There we are. So that should now you just do a little sweep and it opens. Look at this. How far back does it go? No, not very. It's nice to have a sunroof that opens though in a car, right? And light headlining. One thing I'm not sure about is because some of the other Volvos are better, is this where you charge your phone. Look. Why is that like that? Have I done this wrong? You can't actually, well, it does sit on there and charge, but it's not in there, look. Rear legroom is another selling point because this has 36 inches of rear legroom. The BMW X5, which is supposed to be the holy grail, has 37, and the BMW X5 is something like 68 grand starting. This is 45 grand starting. Or if you have a look, just to give you an idea on the numbers, this is the sort of price you will pay. It's interesting though, because Volvo also do a number of amazing offers, and that means you can choose which way to finance. That said, I think I know which one is going to be the cheapest over the term. Actually, speaking of BMW, there was a very funny comment on one of our other Volvo videos, and it just went, Volvo, it's the best BMW. Now I found that, and you see, no one liked that. No one thought that was funny. I did. Dry. The thing is, it's dry, goes over people's heads. People haven't got time today on social media to absorb stuff, to think about it. Most people watching this are doing something else. In fact, most people watch my content are on the toilet.
Because China are now able to design, develop and produce cars, all for under a fiver. There's a serious crisis in the economy of cars, but not necessarily for Volvo. It's mainly German manufacturers who are struggling. Volvo are now Chinese owned, and that could give you confidence.
This one is the Ultra, so it comes with a number of things. So for example, your amazing award-winning pilot assist adaptive cruise. It comes with Bliss, the blind spot thing. It comes with a pan roof, air suspension, and of course the Bowers & Wilkins, which one day I like, another day I'm not sure about. It's just so strange. I'm a bit mental. Now look, here is how I've got the Bowers & Wilkins set up. You can have all these different things, studio, stage and room, and you can see how wide you want it. My opinion is only that this speaker, it is beautiful, but it's slightly overpowered. I think Volvo are going to invite me to their studios so that I can play with their EQ. This is how I have it set up to the driver, and that tells you everything you need to know. So, but anyway, go and listen for yourself, because I think if you set it up right, as I've said before, it is easily cleaner and nicer than the Model Y. Being an XC60, of course, it does come with its own justification for spending rather a lot of money, and that is the air quality purification system, which when your other half says we can't afford an XC60, you can say,
look at all this lovely clean air for our beautiful family and dog. But if that doesn't work,
selfish. Air suspension, both the Ultra and the one below it, both have it. Is it worth it? Yes, I would say it's worth every penny. You would probably say yes until it breaks, which has actually just happened to my BMW, and BMW want £4,000 to fix it. Should have leased it. But also, what I think is good about the air suspension is that somehow it adds more refinement and suppleness. It makes it feel like more of an expensive car. And that brings me back to the T6 and the T8, because the T6 doesn't have air suspension, the T8 does, and they are completely night and day different. If you're going to be coming from something else, such as a Mercedes or a BMW where there is lots of lighting everywhere, this is going to be something that you're going to need to get used to. Are we over the in-car lighting thing? I know Elon's now just started to put lighting in now, but, well, actually, so have Audi. Audi have now put in a load of lighting in, and it looks amazing. Trouble is, it can either go wrong and look too chintzy, or it can be very subtle and nice. But this has got nothing. So when you're on a long journey, there is no light, there is no mood, and you might think, I don't know, what have I done? Then there's this. You've got a very small screen. You might be used to something bigger or something with perhaps an iDrive to control it. You're controlling everything from the small screen. Other than that, though, I wonder whether there's a flip side, because if you're going along on a long journey, first of all, the Volvo lights are the best I've seen for a very long time. The way that they dance, the way they light everything up, they're amazing. You've just got this very comforting and calming, soothing environment. This is actually one of those cars, after a long journey, you go, do you know what? Nah, I could have done another 20 minutes. I could do another 20 minutes in this.
yes, there are now two ways to travel long distances in Britain. One is to use a Volvo, the other is to be a vampire. And most of us can't become one of those, and so comfort and some form of automated driving is what Volvo feel is the next best thing to offer members of the public that are not the undead.
The man knows his cars.
Here's something you don't get with pictures. It's the size of this car. Now, I've discovered something. What about this? This is the BMW F15 X5. It is the holy grail, as I say, of SUVs. Everyone loves them, so many fans. And this is another car which everyone loves, the Tesla Model Y. Both of those cars are the same size as this. I wonder whether Volvo have hit the jackpot just by making a car the right size.